back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a tutorial on how I made this top, and it's really easy. Like, the only stitches that you need to know how to do is a half double crochet, a single crochet, and a slip stitch. I'm pretty sure that's it, and obviously a chain. But for the materials, you're going to need 2 things of yarn. Of the second color, you won't need that much. Like, you won't use like over 100 yards. Like, you don't need that much. And for the main part, I honestly don't know how much yarn you would need, because in order to make the top, I took apart something to make it, so I don't know. You're also going to need a tape measure, a 5mm hook, a couple stitch markers, and some scissors. So we're going to get started with just making the measurements. We only need 2 measurements. So the first measurement is just going to be your bust. So just measure from like the center point of your boob. That's right there. And just so you have a little bit more room, I would say add about a ½ inch to an inch to that. Okay, so write that down. And you're gonna need, so if you see like how my shirt is, like here, you're gonna measure kind of from like here to here, if that makes sense. So like neck is right here, so like from like about a ½ inch to an inch from your neck. So from here to about here, and you're gonna measure that out and write that down. Write down your measurement. So also for this top is for personal use only. You cannot sell the product or the top that you made using this pattern. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But the last tutorial that I did, you can sell that one, but just not this one. I'll do like a switch. I'll keep switching it up as I make tutorials. Like the next one, you'll be able to sell the product, but I just wanna, you know. Okay, so to start this, what you're gonna do is, I keep saying that, like I just know that I'm sorry. So you're gonna, that measurement that you did for your bust, divide that by 2, and you're gonna make a chain that's long enough to fit that measurement. So if half of your bust was 23 inches, you would make a chain that's long enough to be 23 inches, but you have to make sure that it's an odd number, so it has to be an odd number. Okay, my chain is a 45. Like I said, it has to be an odd number. So what you're gonna do, oh, here we go again, chain 1, so you should end up with an even number again. And you're gonna skip that first one, and in the next one on down, you're gonna do half double crochets into each stitch. Okay, so I finished with my first row of half double crochets, and you should end up with the odd number of chains that you did. So now for the next couple of rounds, these rounds will depend on how long you want the top. If you have a longer top than me, it doesn't matter. Everything is still going to be the same. Like, nothing else is going to be different. So just chain 1 for each row. Chain 1, turn your work, and do a half double crochet in each stitch. I'll put a picture up on the side over here of like that shows like an arrow of where, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll put it up on the side. Okay, y'all. So after you're done, you're just gonna chain 1 and cut your yarn, and you're gonna stitch mark your middle stitch. So after you stitch mark that, you're gonna take your yarn. Hold on, y'all. So get your yarn. You're gonna make a slip knot, and from this stitch mark space, you're gonna count 5 stitches to your side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm left-handed, so it's going to end up on my left side. If you're right-handed, it'll probably end up on this side. I don't know, but it's going to be the same either way, like, because you're going to mirror the side. So after you did that, you're just going to insert your hook and do a slip stitch, and your yarn is attached there. So now you're going to chain up 1, and you're going to do a half double crochet in each of these 5 stitches. So 1, 2, and then in this stitch mark spot, you're just going to take your stitch marker out. I told you to put the stitch marker there so it wouldn't be very confusing to you if I would have explained it a different way. So half double crochet there, and then the next 5 stitches on the next side, you're going to do a half double crochet. So you should have 11 stitches for this row. So for this row, so this will be count as row 9 for me. It'll be a different row for you, but it's 9 for me, so I'm just gonna put row 9 on the screen. This is row 9. From row 10 to 13, what you're gonna do, reminder, this is row 10 to 13 for me. It'll be different for you. You're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do a decrease in the first 2 stitches. Half double crochet in each of the other stitches and do a decrease in the last. So this is how I do my decreases. So I just insert my hook like a single crochet in the first one, then I yarn over and insert my hook into the next one. You should have 4, yarn over and pull through, and you're gonna half double crochet down, and I'm gonna show you how I do my decrease on the other side. Hey guys, so I didn't tell you guys how I did my decrease on the other side, but for the other side, you're just gonna reverse the pattern. So instead of inserting your hook like it's a single crochet first, you're gonna yarn over and insert your hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you're gonna insert your hook into the last stitch like it's a single crochet, and you still should end up with 4 loops on your hook. You're just gonna yarn over and pull through all 4. So that's how you do it. Okay, so you should have ended off with 3 stitches. So you're gonna chain 1 and turn your work, and we're gonna do a 3 half double crochet decrease. Ignore these are my end pieces. I had to change my yarn. You're going to insert your hook into the first stitch like you're doing a single crochet, yarn over and insert your hook into the second stitch, and you're going to insert your hook into the third stitch like you're doing a single crochet, and you should have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 5. So you're just going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So now this is what the first part looked like. I'm gonna just reset the pattern number, or the what do you call it, the row number on the screen, because it's kind of what we're doing. But you're just gonna, with your yarn, either side, it doesn't matter, because you're gonna wind the video back and do the exact same thing that I'm telling you now to the other side. So attach your yarn to, okay, so if you see, look at the project, and this last stitch that you did when we did the 11 single, or the 11 half double crochet, and the same stitch that you did that 11th stitch right here in, you can see it right here. If you like pull it up, you can like see that in there. You're gonna insert your hook into that same stitch with a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 1 and half double crochet from this same stitch all the way down. So for row 10, again, these numbers may be different for you, but for me it's row 10, so I'm just gonna say row 10 and put row 10 on the screen. You're gonna chain 1, but you're gonna half double crochet in every stitch and then do an increase in this very last stitch. Last stitch, I'm gonna do 2 half double crochets in this last stitch, and that is an increase. So now for row 11, chain 1, turn your work, and do an increase in the very first stitch. And you're gonna do a 1 half double crochet all the way down. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row, and so for the next 3 rows, it'll be just you're just alternating. So for the next row, you're gonna do 1 half double crochet in every stitch, and when you reach this end part right here, you're gonna do an increase. And then in the next row, you're gonna do an increase in the first stitch, and then half double crochet all the way back down this way. And then for that last stitch, that last row, you're gonna do half double crochet in every stitch, and then do an increase here. And that should get you to row 14. So I'm gonna do an increase in this last stitch. Okay. So if you count from this row where you did the half double crochet in the same stitch of this one, you should have 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So let me check this off. Now for row 15, 15 is on the screen. Again, it'll be different for y'all if you did more rows or less rows. Gonna chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do a decrease in the first 2 stitches. So again, insert your hook like you're doing a single crochet. You should have 2. Yarn over and insert your hook, and you should have 4. Yarn over and pull through all of them. That's your decrease, and you're just gonna do 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So I'm done with this row. So for the next row, chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do a half double crochet in every stitch, and then in the last 2 stitches you're gonna do a decrease. So now we're gonna alternate the patterns again until from here, from the first row that you did on this side when you attach the yarn, up until here equals 12. So you're gonna alternate the patterns from doing, when you get over here, you're gonna do a decrease in the first stitch, and then half double crochet down. And then for the next row, you're gonna do a half double crochet all the way down and do a decrease in the last stitch. Okay, so I just did my last decrease, and again, if you count from this where we attach the yarn up to here, is you should have 12 rows, and this is what it should look like. So don't cut your yarn. What you're gonna do is you're gonna, I keep saying that. Okay, chain 6, and you're gonna chain 1 more for your turning chain, so that's 7. So you're gonna turn your work, so to the back humps again. Skip this first one. You're gonna do a half double crochet into the second one on down, and you're also gonna half double crochet in all of these stitches here. This is what it should look like. We're starting on the next part. So you're gonna chain 1, turn your work. This air conditioner. And you're gonna do a half double crochet into every stitch, and in the last stitch, you're gonna do an increase. So you're gonna increase into this last stitch. So for the next row, chain 1, turn your work, and do an increase in this first stitch. And then you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. So I'm done with this row. So for the next 2 rows, you're just gonna alternate the pattern. So you're gonna chain 1, do a half double crochet in every stitch, and this last stitch right here, you're gonna do an increase, and then you're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and then do an increase in this first stitch for the next row, and half double crochet all the way down, and you're gonna chain 1 and cut your yarn. So as you can see, the stars like coming together. So chain 1 and cut your yarn. And you're basically gonna rewind the video back and do the same exact thing that you did on this side for this side, but the only difference is you're not gonna cut your yarn after you do this. So this is just where we're at. Like I said, don't cut your yarn. So now for the next row. All right, y'all, so I had to like switch my cameras so it may look a little bit different until I can start using my other one. But what we're gonna do, because we ended here, chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do 1 half double crochet in every stitch, and then do an increase in this last one. This is the increase. So you're gonna go over to this next side right here, and then this very first stitch here, you're gonna do an increase in this one. So enter your hook on the other side, and you're gonna do an increase there, and you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. But now what we're gonna do is, I already untouched my 6 market here, but I'm gonna tell you what to do. So we're going to get your measurement. It was your measurement 2, which was like the measurement between like the 1 inch from the neck part. So you're gonna take that middle part, you're gonna subtract 1.5 inches to it, and after that you're gonna divide that by 2. Mine was about 8.5 inches, and I took off 1.5 inches from that, so that makes it 7 inches. You're gonna divide yours by 2, and that'll be 3.5. You're gonna, from this middle part on down to the other side, so you're gonna attach your stitch marker at that stitch right there, if that makes sense. And then after that, to make it even on the other side, you're just gonna count which stitch is stitch mark. So for this side, for me, it's the 15th stitch that's stitch mark. You're just gonna replicate that on the other side and stitch mark the 15th stitch on this side. The 15 is the example. Yours will be different depending on what your measurement is. Okay, so now for the next row, which for me would be row 27, because this last row was 26, so it's gonna be 27 on the screen, but obviously it'll be different for you. You're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna half double crochet until you have 4 stitches left. So, and the 4th stitch would be your stitch mark stitch. So you have this one, so 1, the stitch mark stitch, 2, 3, and 4. So you're gonna half double crochet until before that 4th one. So now that I have the 4 stitches left, including that stitch mark stitch, in these next 3, you're gonna do 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the stitch mark stitch, you're gonna take your stitch marker out, and you're gonna do a slip stitch into that stitch. Now for row 28, you're gonna turn your work, don't chain, but just turn your work. Skip this first one, so the one that you did where you did the slip stitch, you're gonna skip the slip stitch, and then you're gonna single crochet 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. Now you're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna half double crochet until you have 5 stitches left. You're doing -1 of half double crochet that you did in the last row. So the last row I did, after I did the 3 single crochets, I did 10 half double crochets. So now in this next row, I'm gonna do 9 half double crochets. After your last half double crochet, you're gonna do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and you're gonna do a slip stitch. Slip stitch in this last one. So now you're just gonna chain 1 and cut your yarn. Is actually for this next side, you're gonna attach your yarn at the stitch marked stitch, and you're gonna attach that with a slip stitch. Now for this row, which is 27 again, well for me, you're gonna do, after you did that slip stitch, in the next 3 rows, you're gonna do 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Then you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. So for the next row, you're gonna do a half double crochet until you have 5 stitches left. So for me, I'm gonna do 10 half double crochets because I started off with doing 11 half double crochets at the end. Now I'm going down to 10. So you should have 1, 2, 3. Yep, 5 stitches left. You're gonna do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna do a slip stitch in this last one. Chain your work, turn your work, sorry. Skip this slip stitch, and in this next stitch, you're gonna slip stitch. Make sure it's not tight. And then in the next 2 stitches, you're gonna do a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, and the remaining stitches, you're gonna do half double crochets. So now for row, this is row 30. For me, it'll obviously be a different number for you. How many ever half double crochets you did in this last row is that how many half double crochets you're gonna do. So like I said before, I started off with 11, then I went down to 10, now I'm at 9. So I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work, and do 9 half double crochets. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit of math in this one. Let me go ahead and get my phone. Hold on. I did 45 for the beginning. I did 45 chains. So take how many ever chains that you did, and you're gonna get that number. So 45, and you're gonna do the minus, and how many half double crochets you did on this side times 2. So I did 9 half double crochets right here. You're gonna multiply that by 2, and that means I have 18. You do 45 minus 18. 27. So you have 27 chains. So I'm gonna chain 27, and you chain how many ever chains that you're gonna do. Alrighty, so I have my 27 chains, and now how many ever half double crochets you did on this side, you're just gonna count that number on this side. So I did 9 half double crochets here, so I'm gonna count 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this 9th stitch, you're gonna do a half double crochet there. So there, and you're gonna do a half double crochet in the remaining pieces. Okay, I also forgot to tell you guys this when I started doing it, or when I moved here. What you're gonna do, save this number for later. You're gonna count from row 1 to this row right here, this last row, not where you started this part right here. So you're gonna end here, so count from here to here. So for me, that'll be, I believe, 26. Remember that number for a little bit later, so just write it down somewhere. You're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and do a half double crochet in each of these half double crochet stitches here and each of the chains. So I'm done with this part, and now for the back piece. This piece right here, it'll be different depending on what you want. So if you wanted a full coverage back, then you would just do half double crochets and make sure this number of rows equal the total number of rows that I just told you to remember. You would just wind the video forward to the sleeves. But if you want the back part, like how the original pattern is, I'll put a picture of what the back look like on the side. This is what you're gonna do. Okay, so chain 1. So this is row 32 for me. And you're just gonna do a half double crochet into each stitch for about, I would say, maybe about 7 more rows. So it'll be 8 total. But if you want to do less than that, because you want like the crisscross part to be like a little bit far up, then you do that. But I'm just gonna do 8 rows total, including this row. So that I said I was gonna do 8 rows, but I'm actually doing 7 now. I want it to be a little bit less. Then the last one that I did, you're gonna put this again. You're gonna put your stitch marker in the middle stitch. You're gonna, for the next row, this next row would be for me row 30. So you chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna half double crochet in every stitch until you get to the stitch marker. So this is the last stitch. You're just gonna, in this stitch mark stitch, you're gonna do a half double crochet in there. Row 39. You're gonna do, turn your work, chain 1, turn your work, and do a decrease into the first 2 stitches. So decrease, and you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. Now this is the last stitch. So chain 1 for the next, the next row, which is for me row 40. Chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do a half double crochet in every stitch. Okay. So now, you're gonna start counting from this row on down until you get the same amount of number, like I said before, the same amount of number of rows from here to here, and you're gonna alternate between the 2 rows. So once you get on this side, you're gonna do a decrease. So chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna do a decrease in the first stitch, and you're gonna half double crochet all the way down. And then for the next row, when you end up on this edge part right here, you're just gonna do half double crochet. So you're just gonna alternate those 2 rows. Okay, so all of this equals to 26, which is the same number of rows from here to here. If you ended on this side, so if you ended on the decrease side when you did your rows, what you're gonna do is chain 1 and cut your yarn. You're gonna attach your yarn to the opposite side. So here, this very first stitch. And now we're gonna start making the sleeve on this side. Okay guys, so I changed my camera back to the original one, so I'm hoping that it is better. Put your head through this piece right here and try to figure out where you want your sleeve to like start at. Okay, so what I mean by that is you're gonna take this piece, it looks weird, I know. Put your head through it, and you're just gonna fold it and make the sides touch each other like this. And with your hand, just pinch to where you want the stitch marker to start. And I'm just gonna take my stitch marker, and I'm just gonna stitch mark one side of it. So now that I've stitch marked this spot right here, count how many rows, like what row you stitch mark. So I stitch marked the 16th stitch. We're gonna do again. So this is my good side right here. Fold it, and you're gonna count up how many rows. So 16 rows for me. I'm gonna stitch mark that 16th stitch as well. Now you're gonna take your hook and you're basically just gonna single crochet all the way up until you reach the stitch marker. Just took my stitch marker out and I did my last stitch. This is here, hold on. So this is what it should look like now. Now, this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but chain one, you're gonna pull that a little bit, and you're gonna take your yarn and just push it through here and fold it to where now the good, you're looking at the good side. So now you just chained one. Well, I just chained one, but if you didn't chain one around, and you're gonna make sure you write down how many stitches you do, but you're just gonna after you chain one, you're gonna do 1/2 double crochet around the border. Make sure, like I said, you write down how many stitches that you did. Okay, so this is my last stitch. I did 32 stitches around, but yours will be different probably. So slip stitch into the very first 1/2 double crochet you did. This is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna chain one, turn, and do 1/2 double crochet into each of the stitches. Okay, so this is my last stitch. So you're gonna slip stitch into the very first stitch. Now for the next couple of rows, so you can do how many ever rows you want. I'm gonna stop at 6 rows. So this is my first one, this is my second one. I'm gonna do 4 more. But for the next 4 rows, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a decrease in the first 2 and the last 2 stitches. So do your decrease. You're gonna 1/2 double crochet in each stitch, and then do a decrease in the last 2 stitches. And you're gonna repeat that until you get the length of the sleeve that you want. But I will also say to try this on every row that you do, just in case. So like, say for example, like the last top that I made, it was this top the first time I made it. I ended up making the sleeves too tight because I didn't put my arm all the way in the sleeve. Like, try to put it on like it's a shirt. So put your head through here and put your arm through the sleeve. So like, if you find that it's too tight but you still want to add more rows, I would say just don't add decrease, just add regular rows, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm done with the sleeve. We're gonna chain one, cut our yarn, and this is what it should look like. Well, to an extent. If you did it longer, yours will be longer. If you did it shorter, yours will be shorter. But we're gonna attach our yarn here and repeat the same exact pattern on this side. I'm done with the basically like the whole base, whatever. I want to go on to the color 2, and we're going to start with outlining this. Okay, so you're going to attach it like anywhere, and it doesn't matter. I would recommend attaching it like a little bit before this end piece right here, just so you can like weave it in. And I'm going to attach it with a single crochet instead of a slip stitch. So I'm gonna do a single crochet. And what you're gonna do for basically the whole thing, so every time you get to like a point, you're gonna do a chain 3. So I will show you how to do. So you're gonna single crochet all the way up here until you reach this point right here. So we're right here now. After you do your single crochet in this top part, you're gonna do a chain 3. Chain 3. And you're gonna do a single crochet in this same stitch. And you're gonna single crochet your way down, and that's what you're gonna do for the other 4 points. These are the other 4 points. So this is the first point right here. The second point is right here. The third point is right here. The fourth point is right here. And the fifth point is right here. So again, you're gonna single crochet until you get to the point. Once you get to the point, you're gonna chain 3 and single crochet in that same stitch. Then you're gonna single crochet until you get to the next point. Okay, so I'm just gonna slip stitch into this first stitch. Chain 1 and cut your yarn long enough for you to weave it at the end. And this is what it should look like. See, it looks way kind of more better. But now what you're gonna do, you're gonna make a chain of about 130 or a little bit more if you want more chains, but you're gonna make a chain of 130, and you're just gonna set it aside because then we're gonna attach it to these 5 parts here. But now we're just gonna move on to the sleeves. So for both of the sleeves, you're gonna attach your yarn and single crochet all the way around for both sleeves. And then after that, you're gonna attach your yarn to the back of your neckline part, so that the opening, so attach it to the back and single crochet all the way around. Okay, so now we're done with this. We're gonna start with the last part of the top, which is this V part. And you're gonna attach it to the edge, the very bottom of the V part. You're gonna attach that with a single crochet, not a slip stitch. And you're gonna chain 3. You're gonna do 1 single crochet 3 times. So 2, 3. You're gonna chain 3 again, and then repeat. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to repeat this until you have about, I would say, like a ½ inch, maybe, probably like 2/3 of an inch. Oh no, that's 3/4. About 3/4 of an inch from there. So we're going to stop about right here. Okay, so now I'm here, and I ended up doing to the one closest. I ended up, instead of chaining 3, I chained 2 because I know that it's like kind of closer together. So to make it less bulky right here, you're gonna chain 2. So now you're just gonna single crochet until you get like right before the middle. So my stitch marker is still here, so like right before here, right there. And then this middle stitch right here, which is where my stitch marker is, you're gonna do a slip stitch. So slip stitch. And now you're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side and try to make it look like, okay, so I'm back here. You're just gonna single crochet all the way around this until you get to right here. And then you're gonna chain 1 and cut your yarn. Okay, so I've done this. I'm just gonna weave in all of my ends and come back. But what you can do after you weave in your ends, you're gonna make a chain. I would say about 200 chains long. You can make it longer or shorter if you want to. Okay, so I'm done weaving all my ends and I made the chain. So we're gonna start the first one, the first like loops. You're just gonna attach your yarn there. So just pull it there. I'm trying to use my darn needle. I'm just gonna use my hook, honestly. And you're gonna just crisscross it, but make sure the ends are like even, or each side has the same amount of like. And now you're just gonna weave it in and out. So pull it through. Okay, so I'm done with the crisscross in the back. So I'm gonna turn it around, and now we're gonna do the little star inside of the star part. So you're gonna start off with putting your hook through this middle. So stick it like this and pull it through. Make sure it's even. Okay. Then you're gonna go to this one right here, which is like this center part right here, this one on the side. And with this same one this same piece right here, you're gonna pull it through here. So it should look like this. Then you're gonna pull it over to this one on this side right here. And it should look like this. Then you're gonna attach it to this one right here on this side. There's a pencil. It should look like this. Then you're gonna attach this one to this part right here. And finally, you're just gonna attach it, this piece right here, back to this, and it won't like come or anything. So just attach it here, and pull it through, and see. Let me see. Come right here. You can see the star right there. Well, it looks kind of iffy right here. You see the star, and you tie it, and that's the top. You're done. Okay guys, this is the top. Yeah, so this is the end of the tutorial. This is what the top looks like. I love it. Like, this is literally my favorite pattern that I've ever created, and I haven't created many, but like still, if you want to know how to make the star part smaller, so this part, if you find this is too big, you want to make it smaller, I do have a custom pattern for this part on my website that you can purchase that can show you how to make it smaller. The pattern only shows, like, the pattern is $1.50, you guys, but it shows you how to make just this part right here, like just this star part right here. But yeah, I'd be crocheting and talking about different conspiracies. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and subscribe. Like, that should be the next video that comes out. This is the end of the video. Again, like, comment, subscribe. It's free. Turn the post notification bell on. It's free, so you can know whenever I post. But yeah, bye bye.